Hello, class. I am here right now with Sergeant McFarley of the National Guard. As we have some of the people leaving here today, I'm going to be asking Sergeant McFarley a couple of questions about the National Guard and how they support, what do they need, and some of the resources they will have or need from the community. So let's dive right into this. First, before we get started, I have to ask you about a consent form. Do you consent to this video that we're doing right now?
Yes, I consent to the video, okay. But I am refusing to sign any documents due to personal reasons.
Okay, great. Thank you for that tidbit right there. My professor's going to love that part. Okay, so Sergeant McFarley, I know you're busy. You got a program going on right now to where you're helping the community and training some of the people and being prepared for such as exercise, recruiting, and being in the National Guard. So I thank you for that, and I thank you for your service as well. So let's get started with the first question. The first question is, what is the role of the National Guard in a national or disaster response?
Okay, so once again, I'm Sergeant McFarlane. I am a recruiter with the Maryland Army National Guard. I've been in for almost 20 years now. Essentially, the role of any national or traditional guardsman is to be able to serve our community, right? Because not only do we live in our community, we work in our community, and it's all about selfless service within our community. So in the case of a natural disaster, we are activated by the governor of the state of Maryland to address whatever the issue is, right? Whether it's a snow emergency, whether it's COVID, any type of disaster relief, right? We get our mission, and we're told what the mission is, what we're looking to accomplish, and we move out and go from there.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much for that, sir. And the next question that I have is, what are the problems that the Salvation Army face during a national disaster? What's some of the problems you think you might face?
What problems the Army National Guard faces, I believe, even though I'm active for the National Guard now, which means I work 24/7, 365, I was your traditional National Guardsman. So I worked 1 week in the month, 2 weeks out of summer, and I had a full-time job. Some problems we will face is when we get activated for certain missions, whatever natural disaster it is. Let's look at COVID, for example. We would end up working, being on orders for 6 months to 9 months at a time. And a lot of soldiers, luckily I'm not going to say who I worked for, but they were very compassionate about the situation. They understood my family lifestyle. They were able to work with me. Some soldiers did not have that accessibility, right? So they were having issues with losing jobs, not getting matching pay, losing their civilian benefits due to the requirements for the selfless service that they wanted to put onto our community, right? So if the National Guard hired them and it's longer than 30 days, they can essentially sometimes get fired from their civilian jobs, and those type of issues that we were running into, even having to go to court to fix some of these issues on the federal side. So to sum it all up, bottom line up front, more support from the companies that host these National Guardsmen.
Okay, great, wow. I thank you for that. I'm enlightened because I didn't see the back door of all of this, behind the scenes, if you will, with the National Guard, because you do have regular lives that you have to attend to as well. And then when the national disaster comes, they expect you to be fully ready. And then you got to have enough personnel, and you be short-handed, and then they looking at you as to why we couldn't perform better. Cool. So, wow. Thank you for that. All right. Next question is, what is the main focus of the National Guard?
So essentially, the main focus of the Maryland Army National Guard is to support our country, whether it's on the federal or state level, right? So we have 2 missions. Of course, we're like any component with the military. You will, there are times you may deploy, whether it's a humanitarian mission, whether it's a combat mission, but you also have state responsibilities, right? So our job is to be able to provide for our state. So we're looking at, of course, natural disaster, any disaster relief, humanitarian relief, community support, anything that deals with the state while at the same time having a federal mission. So you could get deployed 1 year and the next year you're helping with natural disasters. It's all about serving.
Oh, okay. Well, I see here your crowd calling for you right here. So we'll wrap it up with this one last question that I have. Excellent so far. So what are some of the resources that you think that you may need from the community to better serve the National Guard in a disaster?
in a disaster, anything to, I'm always going to be for the soldier, right? So anything that could help the soldier's lifestyle. So passing certain bills when it comes to health care, so our soldiers can get those extra benefits that they need on the stateside level. Anything even on the education side, getting 100% tuition for our soldiers within the state of Maryland. We go through a bunch of rigmarole. We are willing to do anything and everything for our country, for our state. So it'll be great just to give back, right? I believe in some states already do that. Some states provide not just free health care, but they give you back any co-pays that you pay. They take care of not just you as the soldier, but your family members, your immediate spouses. They help you on that end, and they even help with your VA. And they give you 100% disability, not 100% disability, 100% education benefits to go to any school in that state, right? So on a congressional level, that is the biggest thing I see, right? We're people in the Army. We're going to do what we need to do to serve, no matter whatever restrictions, whatever speed bump hops in our way. If there's a fence, we're going to hop over it to get the mission completed, right? So if the community could just give back to us, not necessarily the community, but on the congressional and strategic level side, if they could give back to us, that'll be a blessing that we would appreciate on our side.
Wow. Thank you for that informative information, sir. So if I'm ever in a position where I can help the National Guard, I'm definitely going to do that. So Sergeant McFarlane, I thank you so much for this interview, and I thank you so much for your time and your service that you're doing. And I do believe you're doing a wonderful job, as I see inside of your facility that you're working out the young kids. You're giving back to the community by training and helping. So I thank you so much for that, sir. So once again, thank you for your time, and I really appreciate it.
Awesome, man. I'm glad I'm helping.